Clinton Moody is an experienced FAA licensed drone pilot, realtor, and a PADI certified scuba diver. Now the PADI is Professional Associate of Diving Instructors. Driven by his community, he takes pride in providing the best drone and real estate services to Prince Edward and its surrounding counties. As a drone pilot, his goals include capturing beauty and providing a new, unique perspective to those who view his work. In addition to his drone piloting and being a real estate agent, Clint also serves as a mentor for the nonprofit group called Stay Focused. Clint has been recognized by Stay Focused for his extraordinary commitment to being a leader and a mentor to young adults within the program. He currently lives in Rice, Virginia with his wife Stephanie. He is now here to tell us a little bit more about himself and his work. Now, Clint, this is what he said to me for his introduction, so.
My wife wrote that.
You did a good job.
Yeah, she did. She did a great job.
I am so full of questions about drones that I thought it would be nice to know about them. And then we had some news about a big drone that the
Russian.
yeah, the Russians knocked down into the waters off of Ukraine yesterday. But it was really big. He's got, how many, 3 or 4?
Just 2 drones up here and the several remote controls that I use.
And I've been asking him a million questions, and I'm sure he's not gonna mind when he lets you know. But I thank Clint for coming
Yes, ma'am.
very much.
Hey, thank you for that beautiful introduction, so I appreciate it. Thank you all for having me. I want to let you all know that I'm extremely lucky to be here for 2 reasons. One, to be in a group with such amazing people, and the second is the unique sequence of events that my life has taken that has allowed me this privilege and opportunity to be up here to discuss with you drones. Now, I must humble myself by saying I have only been flying drones for less than a year now. In fact, I've been practicing real estate for less than a year. So I'm not going to sit up here and try to educate and act like I know everything that there is to know about drones, because I do not. I'll let the experts teach you. I know these drones and how to fly these drones, but I'd much rather tell you a story of how these drones have impacted my life and have really helped me turn rejection into acceptance. And hopefully, after hearing this story, maybe you might be able to take this with you and share it with others in hopes that it might help them along their journey and path. So, to get there, first I want you guys to remember back to a time not so long ago when you were about yay high, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, and you were headed to your first state fair. I don't mind if that's playing, if that's okay. And you are headed to your first state fair, maybe it's amusement park, 5-county fair. You hear all the sounds, you see all the lights, they're flashing, smell of funnel cake. Then you hear it, that loud, exhilarating sound of wood and metal clinking together. People screaming in fear or exhilaration. And you see it, that long wooden roller coaster snaking through most of the park. And you being that young, fearless kid, want to go get in that line and you wait, because you're going to ride that roller coaster. You wait patiently, you keep moving forward, up, inching in line, and you get to the steps of that roller coaster. And that operator looks at you and points at a wooden sign of a dinosaur holding a ruler, saying you must be this tall to ride this ride. The walk of shame sets in as you head on over to this wooden cutout. And even on your tippiest of tippy toes, you don't make the cut. You cannot ride this ride. The feeling of rejection sets in. By a show of hands, how many people have felt that way before in their lives? Yeah? You know, in my growing up and living, I've found that, and I've learned, and especially after being in a wheelchair, I've learned that rejection is in our lives almost every single day, especially for me, almost everywhere we go. And I figured out a way to turn rejection into acceptance. And I can say that because if I hadn't, I wouldn't be able to be up here giving you the speech I am today. Now, I didn't learn this overnight. It actually happened to me in a really deep place, a low place. And in order for you guys to understand how I was able to do this, I got to take you there. And that place is 40 meters underneath the ocean surface, floating above the ocean floor. Colorful fish all around you, coral, the ocean's vast but yet silent. How did I get here to this place where I'm scuba diving? How did I get here? And I was thinking to myself when I was floating there, and I had this epiphany of rejection and how, as humans, we have learned to accept rejection so much that in times of opportunity, we reject ourselves. I was trying to talk myself out of coming to this speech here because I am not a good public speaker. I don't enjoy it. I'm scared of it. But rather than let the fear of me rejecting myself and this opportunity to speak in front of you, I chose to take it. In fact, I'm recording it so I can edit my critiques here. I hope you don't mind. I just would like to be a better professional speaker. But when I was down there under the ocean, I had this idea of how I've learned to reject or accept rejection. And now how did I get to this ocean floor? Because 2 months ago, I didn't know how to swim. A year ago, I just found out that I was paralyzed. And it came with a phone call and a soft voice on the other side that said, "Hey, Clint, we got this amazing opportunity that just opened up. Do you want to come to the Cayman Islands for a week and learn how to get scuba dive certified?" Immediately in my head, I'm thinking, yes, this is something I've never even dreamed about. What an opportunity. But then fear starts coming into my mind and the emotions start setting in, and I start coming up with excuses. I've never flown. I can't travel internationally. I can't leave my mom. I'm in a wheelchair. I gotta learn life in a wheelchair. I can't even swim. What if an accident happens? What if I have a bowel or bladder issue because I'm still trying to figure out that part of my body? What if it happens on the plane? So here I am talking myself out of it, and the voice comes over on the other side of the line and says, "Clint, get your passport. Don't worry, it'll be fine." And so there I am floating on the ocean floor after listening to that voice and kind of laughing because everything that I was scared of that kept me from wanting to be there in that moment that I haven't even dreamt of happened. It happened. But had I let that keep me from missing out on this opportunity, had I rejected myself this amazing opportunity, I wouldn't have this experience and this epiphany of why not turn every rejection into a way of acceptance and trying to teach my body and myself wherever I go to not look at rejection as a stopping point and a giving up point, but rather look at it as a way of, let's find a way where I can do that. That's a good idea. Let's try it. Rejection into an opportunity that creates acceptance. So, my biggest form of rejection doesn't come vocally. It doesn't come from a rule or law written down. It comes in the form of stares. And I say this because the Duntington Mansion is surrounded by stairs. And so I saw this as one of my biggest forms of rejection. And as I'm trying to take this new drone that I've just picked up and learned to fly, and I'm trying to utilize it in real estate, and I need people to let me fly inside so I can showcase to my clients what I can do for them. And I was surprised to see how many people said, "No, you want to fly your drone inside? No, I don't. That doesn't sound safe to me." And I got rejected a lot. And so I went to my deep place in my head, which I think we know is actually a good place, a positive place for me. And I thought about it, and I was thinking, if I keep asking the same question, I'm going to keep getting the same result. And so this opportunity arose with the mansion when they were offering tours to tour the mansion, and they were selling tickets. And I thought, here's my opportunity to actually fly inside of a building for the first time. So I approached them in a different way. I said, "Hey, I would love to tour this mansion and buy these tickets, but there's a problem. I can't get up these steps." And so I asked them if I could utilize my drone and create what I called an accessible tour for everyone to get to experience the mansion, regardless of their capabilities or regardless of wherever they are. It took a day, and then another day went by, and I get this phone call, and they said, "Clint, we had a news crew back out you've got 1 hour to make it happen.
Goodness.
I said, I'll be right there. I hightailed it over to the mansion, and I took out my drone, and I had 3 batteries. Each battery would give me about 15 to 18 minutes of life. So I didn't have but an hour to fly anyway. I used every inch of that battery capacity, and on the last flight, this video is what I was able to capture. And as we watch this video, I just want you guys to think of how ways you can turn a rejection into acceptance. So thank you all. I hope you enjoy, and I look forward to questions either